Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by J.R. Todd, of course, driving the DHL Funny Car Toyota for Kalitta Motorsports in NHRA. How's it going, man?
Good, man. It's good to be back on with you, Casey. I'm ready to get going here in 2023 finally.
Yeah, it is. It was a good year for you guys last year. I know coming into the season, another big year in funny car. What's it going to be? What is it going to be like this year? As we're just it seems like a while away, but I mean, Gainesville's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely didn't have the season that we had expected to have last season with our DHL Toyota GR Supra. But over the off season we made some changes, got a new chassis, some different parts and pieces that we're going to go test next month to prepare for Gainesville and get ready. But I'm always looking forward to the beginning of the year. I think funny car, it just gets more and more tough each season, and for us to be able to run with I feel like Caps, Robert Height, Matt Hagan, they're always the top three at the top of the chart in funny cars. So those are the three at the bullseye on their back that we're aiming for.
Yeah, and really just overall, I mean, the class has always been there. With the guys that you mentioned, plus you know, with you guys and just everyone in it just seems like funny cars just gotten really really competitive over the years. What have you noticed since you made your return back to the series? When you returned back to funny car, I believe it's 17 was when you went back.
Yeah, that was my first season funny car, switching over from the top fuel dragster, and just right away I just noticed how much different it was compared to the top fuel category. Just it seems like it's more of a cutthroat class. Everybody, you got to be on your game on the start line, not taking anything away from the dragster class. It's just the funny car guys go about it a different way, and it teaches you a different driving style. And from 17 till going in the beginning of this season, it seems like each year the competition is taking it to a new level, in which the cars and the performance seems like they get more and more evenly matched, where a lot of it relies on the drivers getting off the starting line ahead of each other. So that's something that I try to take pride on and work on myself.
Yeah. I got to ask you this. I know, being a part of Toyota the last few years, you've guys gotten to be able to do some fun things. Of course, I mean, I'm sure every time you meet fans, they always bring up the sponsor fire commercial from last year with the clowns. Just kind of talk about that. Like, what was it like doing that, and shooting that, and what was it like to get reaction from that?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. When I heard that Toyota was bringing back the sponsor fire commercials and that we were going to be a part of it, I thought that was great for NHRA, for Kalitta Motorsports, and myself. Just being recognized on a national stage, and I had so many people say they saw the commercial play while they were watching the NASCAR race or the Xfinity race or the truck race, what have you. Which not all those fans are NHRA fans, so that helps maybe get them more crossover to NHRA drag racing, and vice versa. So for Toyota to think outside the box and include us, and you know include the race team and dress them up like clowns, just like myself, we had a lot of fun doing that there in Pomona. And we just got done filming another commercial about a month ago that is supposed to air here the next few weeks. So really excited to see it as well. And just I think Toyota kind of sets the bar for NHRA drag race when it comes to manufacturers, with the support they put behind their teams, and getting them out there in the mainstream, in front of different types of audiences outside of the NHRA drag racing show.
Yeah. So going into this season, I know, does it feel weird that we're not going to Pomona for the first race?
Yeah, for sure. That's always been tradition. The Winter Nationals there in Pomona, then you have the finals there. So it's a little different, but we have done it before. Starting off in Gainesville, we did it 2 years ago, and we were fortunate enough to win the Gator Nationals that year. So hopefully we can kind of pick up some of that mojo that we had there a couple years ago. But yeah, it's definitely going to be different. But I always compared the Gainesville race is kind of like the East Coast Winter Nationals. It's a lot of fans from the Midwest and the East Coast like to go to Florida that time of year. Just it's kind of like I said, there's the Pomona Winter Nationals and then kind of the Eastern version. So it'll be different, but it makes sense the way NHRA changed the schedule for us to start on the East Coast here in Florida and then kind of migrate west, and all the teams and the equipment can stay out there instead of crisscrossing back and forth like we have in years past.
Yeah, I know I mean, both the shops are in Indy. Of course, the Kalitta shop is in, I believe, not too far away from where I live in, up in Ypsilanti. But going into that, just going from to all these teams on the West Coast, just what's it like to just go out to like the Pomonas, the Sonomas, and all that? And because there's a lot of drag racing fans out there, and of course, that's also where NHRA's headquarters is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely Southern California, Pomona, that's kind of the birthplace of drag racing. Like you said, NHRA is headquartered there. And a lot of the teams, that's where they originated from was Southern California, then, migrated to Indianapolis. And, our team, like you said, there in Ypsilanti, Michigan, that's kind of where they've always been, the Motor City, Detroit. That's where Connie and Dougie and the Coletta family, that's where they're from. But yeah, there's a lot of drag racing fans on the West Coast, and anytime we go to Sonoma, Pomona, or Phoenix, the Vegas Fall race, like those races, they always draw in a huge crowd of people, and that's good to see.
Yeah. Um, of course, heading into the season, I know that Toyota has been a part of Coletta for a while, as I mentioned earlier, but they've also tried to get just overall just get people to watch drag racing because it's we've seen a lot of the manufacturers come into the sport and really kind of take it in. What just talk about what Toyota's kind of really done for Coletta and just all with your team and all
Yeah, I mean, I started out driving Connie's dragster, and that's when I first got introduced with the Toyota family and the brand there, and just from that day on, it's just become more of a family partnership more than just kind of like a business partnership. I mean, they do a lot for me away from the track, and they provide me the vehicles I have here in Florida to drive around and kind of make that scene to where I can help push the sell of Toyota Tundras and Toyota Supras and whatnot. But as far as the race team, I really didn't fully understand their involvement until I started driving the funny car when I was driving the DHL TRD Camry, and just seeing their involvement from TRD and everything that goes on behind the scenes with taking the body to the wind tunnel and in Charlotte, and just the tune-up programs that they have, and helping be a part of the development of the new GR Supra. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see, just to get that Toyota name out there on the track in front of the people. And they do whatever it takes to win, and they expect results. So I mean, they don't put pressure on me, but I definitely see the path that they lay out for you, and they expect results. And it's fun to be a part of that, and to see from where the Super started out as just a drawing, and then the CAD design, and then the finally be able to the first team to test it here in Palm Beach last year. It's cool to see how far it's progressed. I mean, it's still progressing. I mean, we got some. We're always working on ways to make that body even better than what it is.
that. Yeah. Oh, let me ask you this: how exciting is it to be back in Chicago?
Yeah, it's cool, man. Growing up in Indiana, excuse me, in Indiana, and living in Indianapolis for a long time, that was considered one of our home races. Because most of us from Indy would drive up there, and I kind of grew up racing in the Midwest junior dragsters, race at Chicago, and that's a big market for us. DHL, they have a big facility there, and we do a lot of appearances for them around the Chicago area. So it's good for us to be back there in that crowd, and that track is definitely one of the nicer tracks. Always has been, and one of the nicer tracks on the tour. It's kind of built like a stadium, so I'm really looking forward to getting back there.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is, by the way, who's your crew chief this year?
We still have Todd Smith and John Overhofer, Jono. I mean, they've been there from day one when I started in 2017. So no change there. Just a couple crew guys here and there, but other than that, that's about it.
Yeah. And you mentioned, I know you didn't have the season that you wanted. Just you kind of mentioned some of the things that you guys were able to do. Just kind of talk about what this off season has been like, for you guys as you kind of as you as you get ready for 2023.
Yeah, I mean, typically the off season is not very long, from Pomona, November, then you go into Thanksgiving, and then you have a PRI show, and then Christmas and New Year's, and then usually you got a couple weeks to get your stuff ready. Then we're off testing in Phoenix, getting ready for Pomona. But now with the start pushed back to March and Gainesville, it just gives us more time to go through everything and get prepared. Like I said, we got a new chassis built. I was just in Ypsilanti yesterday, as a matter of fact, getting make sure everything's fitted right properly, the belts, and make sure the seat and everything's right in it, and just waiting on some different parts and pieces to come in. And once that happens, like I said, we'll be on the road to testing beginning of next month.
How many autographs do you sign on a race weekend?
I don't know. I guess that depends if fans like you or don't like you that weekend, but I don't know. It depends. Of course, Indy is my home race. I get a lot of family and friends up there, and it's our biggest race of the year. On top of that, so like, you'll go through a couple boxes of handout cards easily, and then we certain events will have a Toyota display where we get to sign with all the Toyota drivers, and that's a good way to for the fans to come out and meet all of us at one time and get their pictures taken and things like that. So it's a cool experience.
So I've always wanted to know this, like before, like right before you get in the car, like when your car's in like the staging lane as you get ready to go, kind of take me through that process of before you just right when you hop in the car. How much time are you like spending like waiting for your turn to go?
It just varies where you're at positioned in line to go in the staging lanes. Typically, the first run is based off points. So, number 10 in points is going to be running earlier than the number one guy in points. So it depends on that. Then, if the dragsters run in front of us or we run in front of them, I typically like to go watch some cars go down the track and see what's happening with the racetrack and see, where the sun is and things like that. If I need to make some changes to the shield on my helmet. But more than anything, I'm just a fan. I like watching cars down the racetrack. So I'll go up there and kind of take my mind off of things and just watch some cars. And then once it gets close to time to run, go back in the van and start getting all my stuff on, get my fire boots on that go over top my driving shoes. Maybe if it's hot, sit in the van for a little bit in the AC and kind of get cooled off. But once there's probably five or six pairs in front of me to go, that's when you kind of get yourself mentally prepared to get ready to go. Get your earbuds, everything ready to go. Make, like I said, make sure your helmet and all that's good to go. Then once I think usually I get in probably four pairs in front of me. Once you get all suited up, it's kind of like that's when your adrenaline gets going. You're kind of psyching yourself up, getting ready to go to battle. So walk around the back of the car, make sure the chutes are all good, get climbed in, get buckled in. Then next thing you know, it's time to push up to the water box and fire that thing up.
For sure. And just going into these next few weeks before the season kind of starts, kind of talk about what the next few weeks are going to be like for you as you get prepared for Gainesville.
Yeah, we got some different sponsor displays, appearances coming up, things like that. I know we have the Mac Tools Fair, which is always a big deal for all the Mac Tools sponsored drivers to go, kind of entertain all the different distributors across the country that meet it in one spot and hang out with them for a day or so. And then I know I'm missing something else. Like I said, a couple other sponsor functions to do. I know we have one for DHL the week leading up to the Gainesville race. We're going to test again in Gainesville the week leading up to the race. So hopefully the testing that we're going to do next month goes smoothly. And I'm sure there's going to be some things that we want to change before we get to Gainesville. And other than that, just kind of get everything ready to go.
Yeah. And then just last thing is, just talk about what you want to see out of this team in the next few weeks, leading into the season. What do you want to see out of your team the first few weeks of the year?
I mean, the guys are working hard. Like I said, I was just there at the shop yesterday in Michigan, and everybody's busting their butt getting that funny car ready to go to hit the track. We had a new body sitting there. They're working on getting it all mounted up and ready to go, finishing up getting the new chassis ready to go. So once all that happens, I mean, it's almost kind of like I don't want to say a break, but just relief for the guys when they're finally loading that thing in the trailer and getting ready to pull out of town to get ready for testing. And then once we get to testing, it'd be nice if you could just hit the track running, making full runs, competitive runs. Therefore, it gives you a lot of confidence going into Gainesville, and just overall as the season goes on, like you want to win. Of course, you're not going to win every race, but it's nice to see where you size up against the other teams out there. And last year, I mean, it was a struggle for us not winning the event. So that's check number one, is to win a race, and then after that, just kind of get into a rhythm of going to the later rounds and stacking up points and set yourself up good for the countdown to the championship.
For sure. All right. Well, JR Todd, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck this season, and best of luck at Gainesville in March.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.